What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. So today we are going to talk about the director Krennic Omicron, and now that I've had a chance to mess around with it in threes, I can give you guys my full review on it and kind of, share my experience and why I think it's secretly really, really good. So let's talk about the Omicron first of all. The nice thing about it is that it's on a unique and actually not a leadership, which is kind of cool because the leadership is the Zeta, which you might want to actually apply. We'll get into that later. But the Omicron's on the unique, which means you don't need the Zeta to do this. So it's one of the cheaper Omicrons. The other nice thing about this Omicron is it affects two characters, not just one. So Krennic's unique without the Omicron is he gains 10% crit damage for every debuffed enemy and 10% crit damage for each rebel enemy. If Death Trooper is also on the same team, he's also going to get these stats as well. Similar to his unique, the Omicron will also share the stat gain with Death Trooper if he is present. So Krennic and Death Trooper will be gaining 30% defense penetration. First of all, let me just stop right there. Defense penetration, I've done so many videos on defense penetration, especially with Quill and Bounty Hunters. Defense penetration is one of the craziest stats in the game, just because it adds such a big jump to your damage output. Way more than crit damage will, way more than offense will. And 30% is pretty significant, especially on two characters that are already doing pretty decent damage. On top of that, you're going to get health and offense. So we're kind of double dipping here in the offense department, which is kind of nice. The second part is if Krennic attacks, Death Trooper is called to assist, and his cooldowns are reduced by 1. So Terminate and his grenade are going to be pretty much going out a lot quicker. It's pretty cool to see. While Death Trooper is alive, Krennic and Death Trooper both ignore taunt. That's probably, I think, the biggest takeaway here. Having two characters ignore taunt for literally no reason is pretty amazing. Especially when you consider the fact that Krennic has a 2-turn stun, tenacity down, can stagger. Death Trooper will be assisting. Again, you have daze and stun on Death Trooper's basic, so pretty nice. Especially if you want to throw Death Mark on somebody and you there's a taunt in the way. It's honestly really good. So let's go over the kits real quick, and then we'll dive into some gameplay. So Krennic's not really a big popular character. I've actually been using Krennic before the Omicron. I've been using him in 5v5 kind of as a meme in GAC, and then I found out, you know what, he's actually not bad. He's not that bad. And then I applied the Omicron, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty consistent. So tenacity down for 3 turns on the basic, pretty good. Can't go wrong there. This ability is pretty interesting, and we'll talk about this when we do the gameplay, but this ability does some pretty cool things under a Moff Gideon lead. So you deal special damage to all enemies with a 70% chance to stagger them, yada yada. Anybody that are debuffed, you can revive Death Trooper if Death Trooper is dead. Anytime there's a debuffed enemy out, he comes back with 20% health. So if you run a Moff Gideon on the team, and you have Demoralize everywhere, Death Trooper will come back with full health. And the cool thing is he comes back shooting, because if Death Trooper was present, he's called to assist. So the revive happens first, and then he gets called to assist. So it's just kind of funny. It's like a revive, and he comes back attacking. Kind of like, I think the Ewoks do that. This is probably Director Krennic's best ability, in my opinion. 3-turn cooldown. I wish it was 2, but 2 would be way too good. So you deal special damage to a target. It does decent damage. It's not that bad. But the big thing is here is it does different things based on the character's tag. So if it's an attacker, you stun them. A healer, the ability block. Tanks, they get buff immunity. All of that for 2 turns. Now remember, 2-turn stun. That's pretty huge because when you go up against like a Qui-Gon Jinn team, this is a great answer for Anakin. You can stun Anakin, kill Qui-Gon. Anakin takes his bonus turn, he's still going to be stunned on his bonus turn because it lasts for 2 turns. And if the target was Rebel, you also inflict speed down for 2 turns, which is kind of an added bonus. All right, let's go over the lead. The lead is actually not bad. The lead is... It's gotten me full banners before in 5v5. 3v3, I don't think the lead is as good. So you get a crit chance, which is important. You get potency, which is also really good. We want these debuffs going everywhere. So here's the key part. Debuffed enemies who are critically hit during an Empire ally's turn, they suffer ability block, which cannot be resisted. So you pretty much just lock the team down forever. You just constantly line crits equal ability blocks, and you just ability block the whole team forever. You keep them locked down, keep them under control, and then on top of that, you recover 10% protection every time you score a critical hit. So it's the protection recovery is not as much as I'd like it to be, but it's not bad. I think in 5v5 this is a really good lead, just for a more controlled environment. But in 3v3, it's not. I don't think it's as sexy as some of the other ones. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Death Trooper real quick. Death Trooper, you don't need the Zeta for this Omicron, obviously, because the Omicron's on Krennic. But I highly recommend the Zeta here, guys. His Zeta is very important. If you're going to run Director Krennic, you need this Zeta. This Zeta is super important. Yeah, 5% heal at first doesn't seem like a whole lot, but the rest of it's pretty important. So anytime Death Trooper scores a critical hit, he heals himself and Director Krennic for 20% max health per critical hit. So if you do an AoE, you get all 5 crits in 5v5. That's a full heal for himself and Krennic. You know, just it's pretty good. You know, just let that sink in for a second. Death Trooper has a 50% chance to gain 100% turn meter whenever Krennic takes damage. So he's almost like a B2, so to speak. It's just only for Krennic. So you'll take all these bonus turns, which is really nice. And then also Krennic cannot be critically hit. That's probably the biggest part contributing to Krennic's survivability. And then obviously you get the health steal for troopers, not super important. You guys know what the grenade does: dispels, healing immunity, increases cooldowns. You guys know what terminate does: death mark for 2 turns, can't be resisted, can't be revived, guaranteed crits if the target is debuffed. But I want to talk about his basic, because his basic is kind of interesting with the Director Krennic Omicron. So you have a 70%, I cannot say it! You got 70% chance to inflict daze. If the target's already dazed, you stun them. And if the target was Rebel or an Imperial Remnant is in the ally leader slot, you attack a second time. That part's going to be pretty crucial here in a second. The interesting part is he actually assists first, which is really weird, and I'll show you in the gameplay, but when Director Krennic does anything, Death Trooper just like snaps to it, and his attack will land before Krennic's. And I think the reason they did that is because Krennic does tenacity down the basic. And they're like, that's way too good. If, tenacity down lands, then you got the daze. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's a little bit too good. So I understand where it's coming from, but we can get away to get him to attack 2 times and even 3 times on a call to assist. It's pretty awesome. Okay, real quick, I want to talk about Moff Gideon. I do use Moff Gideon on the team because, like I said, if we're using Krennic lead, we want everyone to be debuffed so we can ability block him. What better way than just throw Demoralize out there? You're going to give Krennic a boatload of bonus protection when you do control the situation, because he is a support and he's going to get 100% protection up, which doesn't go away. It's not a buff. It's just, you get the protection. It's almost like Rey's bonus protection. It's just there. You got to deal with it. So really good there. You're also going to call Death Trooper to assist, which is nice. But the leadership is what I like. So we don't get any of this. The Zeta portion, I'll just cancel the entire Zeta portion out. We don't use any of that, unfortunately, because, Director Krennic is not an Imperial Trooper. But this is what we're using in both 5v5 and 3v3. So we are basically just stacking on health. Just stacking on health onto Krennic and Death Trooper. So you get an additional 30% max health and protection. And then Death Trooper will get 15% offense on top of the stat boost from the Omicron already. So it's like we're just making this team out really thick. But like I said, you can interchange both Krennic and Gideon lead as well. You can even throw Tarkin lead in there. It works sometimes. So let's take a look at some gameplay. I'm kind of just going to commentate. This is a pretty short battle. It's only like a minute long. But this is going to be against the Qui-Gon Jinn team. I have done this against Cam. This is my most recent battle. So this is how it the Director Krennic Omicron works a lot in 5s here. I usually use Director Krennic to counter Qui-Gon. There usually isn't a Qui-Gon team that gives me too much trouble. I would say my success rate's probably like 80 to 90%. I have failed, but not in a while. So like I said, the goal here is to pretty much get the 2-turn stun on Anakin, and then kill Qui-Gon. That way, when Anakin gets pissed, it's okay. TIE Fighter Pilot is also an amazing character under either Gideon or Krennic lead, because you have that debuff, so TIE Fighter Pilot's always going to be getting that extra turn meter. So we got the 2-turn stun on there perfectly. And then right here, we're just going to go ahead and just kill Qui-Gon as soon as I push the button. There we go. Yeah, 100k. I mean, he doesn't even have good mods. Like, neither does my Krennic. They have pretty bad mods, if I'm being honest. I need to invest a little bit more into them. But that's just that defense penetration kicking in right there. Defense penetration, the offense gain. It's just, Death Trooper hits pretty freaking hard. And if you guys notice too, when Director Krennic does a move, like I said, Death Trooper, he will assist first. Like at first I thought it was kind of an issue, but the daze lands first. And let me rewind. Let me see if I can actually like show that to you guys real quick. Wait, oh, actually no, it didn't. So maybe, oh, we just learned something new. So it looks like, because Krennic does special damage, it looks like, huh, I never knew that until I made this video. How about that? But if they're side by side, Death Trooper will assist first, which is interesting. So yeah, so maybe we want Death Trooper in the back now. Look at that. We learned something today. And then yeah, obviously we just kind of finish off the team. We get Death Mark. It's so nice being able to ignore taunt, especially against characters like GK and stuff like that. It's just, it's so nice. And then next we'll watch a 3v3 clip, and then yeah, we'll kind of wrap this video up. This team was actually picked by chat, so thank you chat for picking this team. But I kind of already won my GAC, and I was like, all right, let's test Director Krennic on me in 3s, and let's see what we can do. And everyone wanted me to go against Bam Hanchu, and I was like, all right, let's go against Bam Hanchu. What's the worst that could happen? The worst case is they go after Krennic. I mean, not Krennic, sorry, Gideon. If they go after Krennic, we get the bonus turn rate from Death Trooper, which we just did. And then I also discovered we can have Death Trooper assist 3 times on a Krennic's attack. It's kind of cool. I'll show you when it happens. At first I was a little bit confused, but I figured out what was happening here. So unfortunately we didn't get the daze here, but you can see like Death Trooper's just going. He's just go, especially against Rebels. So yeah, we're just going to go for Chewie. Like I said, this team is just really thick. You know, you can't be clearly hit. Death Trooper, Gideon, bonus protection up, Krennic, bonus protection up. And then Terminate here just takes out Chewie like it's nothing. Demoralize obviously being super helpful here. So let me let's see, I think it's coming up where we do the triple attack here in a second. I think it's on Krennic's next turn. Is it right here? I believe it is. Come on, Vance Yield. Alright, no, that wasn't that. Okay, so I just got the speed down. I just did the speed down on Han. So it's gonna be on Krennic's next turn, I believe, is when I do the triple attack. Alright, right here. Okay, so... Oh, no, it wasn't right there. Damn it. This is like my worst video I've probably made, commentary-wise. Come on. Triple attack. Okay, right here. This is where we get the triple attack. So, so we gotta kind of think for a second. Krennic's first special calls Death Trooper to assist if he's present. You know, revives Death Trooper if he's present, calls him to assist. Okay? Calls Death Trooper to assist on the ability. The Omicron calls Death Trooper to assist. Okay? When Krennic does anything. Then, Death Trooper's basic will attack a second time if they are Rebel, or if an Imperial Remnant is in the leader slot. So there's your 3 attacks. It's kind of cool how that works out. I don't know if that was actually planned by CG, but there you go. Well, if you guys missed it, we'll do it again. So Death Trooper's gonna go 3 times right here. You know, 1, 2, 3. It's pretty. I mean, I think that's so good. That's so good. And I understand Death Trooper is a staple on the Iden team right now, but I think you can pull him away for the Director Krennic Omicron. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this kind of gives you some insight to the Director Krennic Omicron. I know Omicrons are still a very new thing for a lot of people. We still don't have a whole lot of testing with, you know, even some of the more popular ones. There's still different comps that we can figure out together. But this is definitely one of those ones I feel like people have been thinking about, but never really, you know, haven't pulled the trigger yet, so to speak. But like I said, I'm even today I found out new things about the Omicron. But yeah, this is a fun one. I think in terms of power level, guys, I would say you can definitely kill Qui-Gon Jinn teams with this, you know, if you have the right comp. I don't know how this does defensively. I probably wouldn't trust the AI a whole lot. Also, you know, you can easily just cripple this team if you go straight for Death Trooper or go straight for Krennic and just kind of gun them down. But I would like to get these guys on a Lord Vader team somehow. I think if you can get this Omicron on a Lord Vader team, I think that might be, you know, the ceiling for the characters. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like. You know, share this video with some of your Empire friends, and yeah, I'll catch you all next time.